This is NRL Tonight. I'm Matt Russell. These are our headlines. Nothing strange about Ethan's ankle. The Blues backline utility cleared to play Origin 3 if required. My greatest moment. A straight shooting Cam Munster talks about captaining Queensland at Suncorp Stadium for the first time. And Tigers fans happy for Api Coruscant as he's cleared of a season-ending pec injury. But the Knights lose a key forward for 4 to 6 weeks. More on that later. It is Origin week, the decider just over 48 hours away. Ethan Strange has been cleared to take his place on the Blues bench. New South Wales are getting ready for Wednesday night's State of Origin decider. The Game 1 hero has recovered from an ankle injury, which means his cover, Matt Burton, has returned to Sydney.
There was a collective sigh of relief in Blues camp, with Ethan Strange all but certain to play in Wednesday's decider at Suncorp. After passing a fitness test on the left ankle he rolled at training last Thursday with flying colours.
It looks good to me, but I think with Strange, like the ankle, I'm not a doctor, but I've had a couple of them. They're pretty easy to strap and that sort of thing. I think it's a bit different if you're going like a hamstring or like soft tissue sort of thing, but yeah, he just rolled his ankle, so I don't think so, no, but like I said, I'm no expert.
After being completely rolled by Queensland in Game 2, few people give the Blues any chance of winning on Wednesday, particularly at Suncorp. And while they did win the last decider there in 2024, this current Blues side knows all too well just how hostile and daunting the challenge of beating the Maroons in their own backyard really is.
You don't get many of these, a decider in Suncorp, so it's going to be tough. It's a great Maroons team. But we know what we can do, and like you said, it's a challenge and one we want to take on.
Limited to barely 120 running metres between them in Game 2, Blues props Payne Haas and Mitch Barnett know the result on Wednesday rests largely on their shoulders. And if they can't lay a platform for the likes of Nathan Cleary and James Tedesco, it'll be Queensland lifting the shield after full time at Suncorp.
I think sort of the middle of the field's where the game sort of won and lost, especially early on. I think we found that out. Over the second half of last game and, even first half of the Game 1. So, we definitely got to lay a platform so our main men can come in and take control of the game.
Only 3 Blues sides have ever won deciders at Suncorp. And for Laurie Daly, who has just 1 win in 6 series, his 7th will likely be his last if he comes home empty-handed. It is a series that will decide the fate of many in this Blues camp, with winning the only option if they want their Origin careers to continue. Cody Kay for Fox Sports News.
Meantime, Cam Munster is preparing to captain Queensland onto Suncorp Stadium for the first time. Despite his decorated playing career already, Munster says this will be his greatest moment, and he's only more inspired knowing the Blues have won their last 2 games there, including the 2024 decider.
Queensland camp has been uncharacteristically quiet. Maybe even too quiet. The captaincy hasn't changed Cam Munster, even if he'll rate Wednesday his greatest achievement.
They probably topple everything, to be fair. When you look at premierships, playing for your state, playing for your country, to be captain of anything and to be able to lead, your state out in a decider at your own home ground is something that as a kid you always dream about, and to be able to have the C next to my name and for the first time, and especially in a decider, to be able to lead these boys out, I'm looking forward to it and super excited.
Incredibly, Queensland haven't won at Suncorp in more than 3 years. Munster missed 2024, forced to watch as the Blues won a series in Brisbane for the first time in 19 years.
Watch the game, it's just like one of those things, like 1 second too far or too back and not in the right moment, and it can hurt you. And you just seen the Bradman Best try, and then the Mitch Moses try kind of just toppled us. And I definitely watched it and felt for those boys. Like they put so much energy into that.
The 31-year-old 5'8" has played in 4 deciders, winning 3 with 3 Man of the Match awards and a Wally Lewis medal. A second series win as captain will cement Munster's interstate legacy.
As a young kid coming through, I wasn't touted as the next rugby league player coming through. There's going to be the Wally Lewis or the Cameron Smith, but I worked on my game and When the older I got, the taller I got, and yeah, I guess it just ended up falling into place for me. But like you said about that, yeah, look, it's nice to be mentioned with those kind of greats, but I haven't done nothing yet.
Queensland cannot claim underdog status this time. That doesn't mean they're not ready for a Blues bounce back.
At the end of the day, like, we probably played, a really good series the first game and second game, but it doesn't mean anything for this game 3. Their back's against the wall, and they've had a lot of media, criticise them, and we know they're coming to the Brizzy for an ambush, and we're up for the challenge.
Josh Bristow, Fox Sports News.
We say good evening to Steve Roach and Ben Gardiner. Blocker, you are proudly from Wollongong. Ben, you are proudly from Yamba. That is close to Queensland, but Cologne, you cannot claim it.
They would claim it.
They would, but we're not going to.
We're not going there.
No use asking either of you for a tip. We know who you want to win. We know who you think will win. How are the Blues going to stop this Game 2 Maroon juggernaut? Here's a reminder of the highlights for Queensland, the nightmares for New South Wales block. How do the Blues build an upset on Wednesday night?
Well, I'll start off by saying players have got pride in what they do. They would have been counting down the days knowing that they were ordinary in the second half in Game 2. So that's a big plus for New South Wales. Coming into the game knowing that it's do or die. Exactly the same thing for Queensland. I think they gave us the blueprint, the way the game's played now, pushing up around the ball, around from dummy half, winning the ruck, all that sort of stuff, rather than sitting back on our heels waiting for something to happen with our halves. The game's changed. Queensland did it perfectly in the second half, especially in that game too. So I think that's where we can beat them.
Ben, you believe the Blues can cause an upset. Why? How?
Yeah, I do. I think that there's a few things. I'll go to the defensive side first. I think we need to do a lot better job on Harry Grant. I thought we gave him way too much room in the first game, and our marker work was really poor. So we need to tie in there, and we need to be on our game around him at marker. But when we go to the attacking side of things, I think we need to play to our strengths. We've got two great short side players in Tedesco and Moses. And then we've got Yo and Cleary, who have a great combination in the middle. And I think that if we can play to those strengths and put that together, we're going to have a good shot at beating them on Wednesday night.
Blocker, when you saw some file vision there of the Queenslanders running onto Suncorp Stadium, what did you say? Just repeat what you said to us while we were watching that package go to air.
Well, I think you've got to embrace it. That's the big thing about going up there in Queensland. I played there plenty of times. Didn't have a lot of luck there, but we had some sort of luck a couple of times. But you've got to embrace the crowd. There's nothing more than the deafening noise of playing Origin up at Lang Park, I call it. I can't call it Sunburnt Stadium, up at Lang Park. But, you just got to embrace it. If it gets into your head, that Queensland are so good at home, then you might as well not turn up.
Surely the modern players, Ben, and you deal with a lot of them, they're different these days than perhaps years past. It's easier to embrace the cauldron, is it, than maybe decades past?
Yeah, I think that going up to the cauldron's a really good thing for them. I think that they're used to playing in front of big crowds, and I think having that parochial Queensland crowd is going to be really good for our New South Wales players, and that's going to get them up and have them ready for the game. I think that our guys will be ready, and it's going to be a nice physical one on Wednesday.
Ben, just explain to us quickly about the interchange. We've got Strange now; he's been made available. I've got very much doubt whether he'll take the field. Then you've got Fanua Blake, Cam Murray, Brayley, Olakau'atu and Kohler.
Yeah.
How do you fit them all in?
Yeah, I think Strange and Kohler might not play. I think that they may play only if they're needed. So I think Strange if there's a half goes out of the game, and Kohler if an outside back goes out of the game. So I think that the interchange will be Cam Murray comes on first. I think he'll come on for Barnett.
Yep.
Adam Fanua-Blake will come on at the back end of the half for Payne Haas. And I think Brayley will come on there for Robson at some stage. Olakau'atu will come on in the second half, I believe. The only reason he'll come on in the first half is if they have fatigue or if Liam Martin, blows out because he hasn't played a lot of footy. But I think Murray, Fanua-Blake and Brayley in the first half.
Do you reckon they would have been, been coached all week about the ruck options? Running one out. We saw the front rowers talking about Barnett and that. They got triple teamed in that game.
Yeah.
You've got to have players in motion. You've got to have some set ruck plays to try and get you on that front foot.
Most definitely. And I think that there would have been a lot of work around combinations in the middle of the field this time around. And I think that that's also the spine players pushing around the ball, the half and the fullback giving that inside and outside support and moving up the field on ruck speed. I think that's why we need Brayley in the team. You know, when Brayley comes on, we feel the ruck speed and we go in up the back of the ruck rather than, like you said, looking to play shape and trying to go out to the edges. Let's play through the middle with that ruck speed this time. Well, there's more on NRL 360 to follow, including across to Queensland's Harry Grant. We know the host, Braithen Nasta, has been really strong, Ben. Cam Murray must start. Yeah.
What is the likelihood of that happening through your eyes, facilitating some sort of forward shuffle that is currently listed? Yeah, I think that it could happen, but I think we spoke about here last week that it's unlikely to happen given what's happened in game 1 and 2. Okay. Laurie's gone with his starting team and stuck with it, and I think that the way that they've selected the bench, what we just spoke about there, I think that they'll go with the team they've named and we'll go from there. Just wonder what it says if you move the captain out a lot forward, you move him to the front row, which negates those two guys that can run up front so well. Yeah. So, you know, I think they're doing the right thing. Would you, Blocker, who's played front row, would you be content to see Isaiah start, Cam Murray, Block, Barney off the bench? No, I want to see him on the back. I want to see him third ruckman. I want to see him on the back of those two guys. I don't want him to be a play 1 or 2. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd leave it the way it is. Let's bring it back to the NRL Premiership race. Round 18 has left the ladder looking like this. Penrith's win against Souths has them retaining a comfortable buffer on top from the Warriors and Roosters. The Knights are top 4. More on them in a moment. The Dolphins slip slightly to 5th. Then it's Cronulla, Manly and Souths, keeping North Queensland out on differential from the top 8, that is. Back up to Newcastle. They haven't been this high on the ladder this late in the season since 2006, 20 years ago. Men, a word on the Knights, who despite running into a gale in the first half, led 12-0 at the break. Yeah, controlled and reliable is my opinion, Matty. They seem to have time in their playing style. They're playing their own style too. They're playing some footy out of yardage. They're using some speed on the end of the line. I think Dylan Brown's absolutely killing it. So I think they're going well. What a confidence boost when you've got your two strike players that are out, you know, in Ponga and also Best. So those guys would get plenty of confidence out of that, especially the way the Dolphins have been playing for most of the season. So I think they've showed great depth. Blocker, a Dolphins comeback in the second half impressed Christian Wolf, but I want to analyse this winning play. I thought the Newcastle setup was absolutely diabolical, but as you'll see, Dylan Brown bails them out. His first NRL field goal is exactly what you want from a bloke starting a 10-year, $13 million deal. Do you agree with that, Ben? That is a big blow in terms of the game, but also the start of this man's stint in Newcastle. Yeah, amazing. You know, the setup for the field goal was a shocker. They went to the right post. Their first choice field goal kicker got tackled. He slipped over. And then they went to Dylan Brown, who, you know, just had all the time in the world in a situation where there was no time. You think about it, it was last tackle. It was right at the end of the game. All of the pressure was coming onto him and he was as cool as a cucumber. Patience in the way he kicked and just struck and went straight over. It was a great call from them. I can't believe how calm he is. You're talking about the pressure at the back end of the game. You've got to kick a field goal. The playmaker slips over the play before and then he gets the footy and just slots it like he'd done it 100 times before. Yeah. Could you believe it was his first? But that's what you get when you get 1.3 mil a year. It is. Well, you should. That's what you should do when you get 1.3. Absolutely. Let's hear from one of the Knights' other stars last night, defensive machine Phoenix Crossland, who also kicked a 40-20 at a crucial stage, his second in as many weeks.
The turnaround we've had, everyone's been working hard. The moment we walked in here in November, so it's good to see some rewards starting to happen, but the season's not done. We want to go deep into the finals and have some real success here, but yeah, very happy so far. 4 career 40-20s, 2 in 2 weeks. That was a big one today. Oh yeah, it's nice. I've been practicing a fair bit, so it's good to see a little reward for that. But it's off the forwards, quick play of the balls. I'm just picking my moments at the moment nicely, so I'm very, very happy with that. But the team's playing very well. Did you know that Dylan Brown hadn't kicked an NRL field goal before today, and the setup was fairly chaotic? So I dare say you're very relieved to see that one go through. Yeah, I've been watching Dylan since he started. I've never seen him kick one, and I don't think he wanted that. I think he was avoiding it, but he nailed it. So the monkey's off the back for Dylan. Need a few more in his career, I reckon. 5 on the road, and you might be without your Badiris medalist through the middle after a hamstring injury. Yeah, Jasaf, he was unfortunate, but I thought our young fella stepped up nicely today. Obviously, Crouchy on debut was enormous for us. Hoppy first start in the NRL. We're the next man up mentality cliche is definitely something we're living off at the moment, and it's good to see the young boys stepping up and getting jobs done. Yes, Phoenix Crossland, well done. Newcastle from wooden spooners to top 4 at the moment. They've got a new coach, new halfback,
And some modest signings that now look pretty good. Trey Mooney, Harrison Graham, Pasami Saulo. Now, Vossi in commentary yesterday said the Knights are into the top 4. Are they really a top 4 team, though? How would you answer that?
I think they're one of the most dangerous sides in the competition. Yeah. I like the way their forwards work. I'll tell you what, but that's a big loss, Saifidi, with that hamstring injury. He was the alpha male in that pack. I think he's been probably their best forward all season. He's going to be a big loss, so they've got to regroup and go again. But they have got potency in their back line. They can score points.
Yeah, I think they can attack anywhere on the field, and I think that's the dangerous things for the teams that are coming up against them. But I think to be in the top 4, they're going to need to keep their forwards on the park. They've got a few injuries at the moment. Saifidi's out at the moment. They need to get those guys back so they can compete with the top teams in the competition. 4
of the next 5 games are on the road, starting with this weekend against South Sydney on Sunday. A huge occasion built around the world's biggest birthday party for Jai Arrow. The Knights are 5-3 away from Newcastle this season, 5-3. Coach Holbrook told us he'll name Kalen Ponga and Bradman Best tomorrow, just pending them getting through Wednesday night to play in that game. There's hope they'll get Trey Mooney back. Jacob Saifidi gone for 4 to 6 weeks with that hamstring that you touched on, Blocker. So they need Mooney, they need Croker, Cant, Hopwood, Debutant, Crouch and Frizzell to really play through the middle.
Well, there's one way to make a name for yourself for those young fellas. They're going to get the opportunity. Look, they were always renowned for their toughness, Newcastle, and I think Holbrook's got. I think he's got that formula right now. I think they've got a good young pack of forwards. They liken a little bit to the St George Illawarra side at the moment for me.
Yeah.
But no, they play hard and they go hard, so that's the main thing.
Well, next opponent's South Sydney. Let's stay with the Bunnies, beaten by Penrith on Friday. Blocker, Dane Jennings is your one to watch this week. In his second game, but starting debut, he scored a try and, wait for this, he had 11 tackle busts. 11 tackle busts. He showed us why he played New South Wales under-19s in the centres a few weeks ago.
You know why I like him? He looks comfortable. They've thrown him in there. He's a tackle buster, as you mentioned. He scored a great try. Made a little bit of an error at some part of the game, but what I liked about him, didn't worry him. Just threw his head back, got back into what he was doing, and his ability to carry the football. He's going to be a long-term player for South Sydney. I like him.
I heard you talking about him on SEN Radio this morning. He crossed your radar as well after that.
Amazing. It took him a few weeks to get his first try, which was interesting. But young players like him like attacking the game, like accelerating into everything. And the speed to the line when he carries the ball to break the tackles is absolutely amazing. He's going to get a lot more tries.
Dane Jennings, the positive.
That's it.
No surprises for the negative. Cody Walker will miss Sunday's Spectacular because of a Grade 2 contrary conduct charge for kicking. First, I thought, Cody, that's going to invite all sorts of criticism upon yourself. Then I wondered, should we read anything into this about his likelihood to play on next year as a 37-year-old? In terms of the club's likelihood to re-sign him or his desire to play on it, am I going too far with those thoughts as I watched on Friday night?
Yeah, for me, I don't think that it's going to play any part in it. I think that he'll make his own choice. A little bit of a snowball effect, the discipline though, Matty. I'm not really too keen on that from him, but I don't think it'll play a part.
Do you reckon Wayne Bennett would have said anything? Well, sometimes silence is the best.
Yeah.
I wonder, he would know that he's done wrong.
Yeah.
Look like you just go, get out.
It's like... No, I won't say it.
Go on.
There's animal liberation. It's like the dog's misbehaving at home. You just
give him a little tap.
A hurry outside. Yeah. Still to come, we'll celebrate a Roosters great before a special milestone. And Walker's on song that is, in an upset win against Manly. Kieran Foran's reaction next.
Like an extra 80 kilos he's carrying. Right in here, nice play. Savala over the top. Tupou! Passage for Tupou to the try line. Great. Robson, Bradley, Walker, Tedesco, Savala. Tupou's got another. Tupou goes to 189. The Roosters top 60 on Anzac Day.
It's one thing to be consistent, but, just to do it at such a level that he does and just dominate in his position. And, he's someone who I think worked out what his strengths were really early in his career, and then he's just done them on repeat every single game since. He's someone who's really deserving of this milestone. And, he's given so much to the club. And he's going to go down as one of the greatest Roosters ever, and it's an honour to be able to go and play in this game with him.
The wonderful Daniel Tupou set for game 300 at Allianz Stadium on Saturday night against Parramatta. Steve Roach, Ben Gardiner, a word on this underrated, understated star. When you listen to the numbers, he's about to become the Foundation Club's fourth man, only the fourth since 1908 to play 300 games as a Rooster, and his 191 tries are 50 clear of any other tricolour. So 3 premierships. He's been out since picking up a calf injury in Magic Round. What a finisher, what a winger, Daniel Tupou.
I'll tell you what I think of him. I wouldn't even hesitate in putting him in a New South Wales side or Australian side or whatever. Wonderful player, great finisher, great under the high ball, brilliant at the back end of the field. Mate, he has been a superstar, and he just continues. I would say that he would be a hard player to handle. He'd be just going through what he does week in and week out, and mate, he's an 8 out of 10 every week.
They're a different team when he plays. He's changed the game for a winger. Like, these attacking type kicks that he's able to go after. Like, now every team's doing that. Now, the Roosters started it with him, and he's made an art form of it. And, to play his 300th game, like, very, very impressive.
Well, Parramatta will carry winning form into that game against the Roosters. Too good for Manly yesterday, 23-14. Talk about owning the big plays. How about the Dylan Walker flick pass for Kelma Tuolangi's try? Walker showed 15 years of NRL smarts. Blocker, how hard, as a ball-playing forward yourself, is this to execute?
Well, I think it'd be almost impossible. I think he surprised himself. But just the sense to be able to do that in that sort of position and to try and pull it off. If you're a young bloke and you only played 50 or 60 games, you're starting to say to yourself, well, I don't know if I'll try that. But this is a guy that comes onto the field week in and week out. And he's almost their best player. Look at that. That is brilliant. Yeah. Well, that is Arthur Beetson-like.
That was to score points. Ben, how much do try saves like Isaiah Yongi's effort please coaches, and why?
They're super pleasing for coaches because it just shows the effort for the team. To be able to be selfless enough to get over there and put himself in a position to make a try save like this and then get up and bounce up and go and do the next play. Like, coaches love that type of work. Well, Kieran Foran would have loved to see Dylan Walker's offload prevented. Walker has announced that Leeds is his next stop. Others going to the UK include quite a star-studded list when you go through Jesse Arthurs, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Tyson Gamble, Damien Cook, Tyrell Sloan, Matt Fionney, and now today Luciano Leilua is reportedly joining Catalan Dragons on a 3-year deal. Does that surprise you, man, at a time when the NRL is expanding by your Perth Bears and then the PNG Chiefs?
It surprised me. I'd like to ask Ben, out of that big list there, is there anyone that you'd like to sign?
Oh, there's a few guys, a few guys that we looked at, but, they've made their choice to go over to the Super League, and the Super League is stepping up. They're talking about coming and being involved in the NRL at some stage as well, so maybe there's something going on with
Do you reckon they'll sign a deal with them? That the deal's
I hope so. I hope so. But speaking to people in the Northern Hemisphere, I hope so.
It'd be good for the game.
But how's it going to work? Will we get all
this
their
is
players
a
from
half-hour show, not a 3-hour.
Okay.
3-hour epic.
I'll keep you
cover your eyes, because we're going to go back to the ladder. The bad news for you, Stephen, your Tigers are 12th. That's the lowest they've been all season. The good news is Api Coruscant will be back. He's expected to miss a month after being diagnosed with a pec strain rather than a season-ending pec tear. Now, here's Benji Marshall and what went wrong in that 24-10 loss to St George Illawarra.
I don't want to get too deep into it because we were way off, but we legged them out of yardage, penalty after penalty, silly moments, errors, and they capitalised. So, this wasn't good enough.
You summed it up very well there, Benji Marshall. Blocker, you were one frustrated individual as you watched the Tigers in this game. Tell us why.
Sometimes I wonder whether blokes are just happy to be in the first grade. I mean, when you make it the first grade and you've played a fair few games, you've got to try and make a difference in games of footy. That's got to be your mentality. It just looked to me, as soon as Appy went off, they were right in the game at half-time. As soon as Appy went off, they scored 3 tries. Within, 8 or 9 minutes or whatever it was. 3 tries in that period of time. But they've got to show a little bit more resilience than that. That's the problem. You can't just be in first grade and think, oh, well, I'm in first grade now, that's it. That's not it.
They'll need to be resilient at Campbelltown to start round 19 when the Warriors come to play them. Now, can you believe the Premiers are second last? Technically, the Broncos need to win 8 from 8. It's not going to happen. Why and who is the back third of the season important to when it comes to the Brisbane Broncos, Ben?
I think it's really important to the combinations in the team and, building some confidence and belief into the team. It's going to be very hard for them to do too much this year, but they need to start preparing themselves to be in a better position come 2027. I think that, the key players in the team really need to step up over the next few weeks leading into the back end of the year so that the club gets in a better position for next year.
And the Sharks go on to try and take down the Dolphins at KO Stadium on Saturday, which will be quite the game, Block. I know you're looking forward to being there for that. Matthew Johns is just back from Papua New Guinea. You're next up, Ben. Tell us about your trip.
Yeah, I'm going off to Papua New Guinea on the weekend and, going to prepare for the World Cup for Samoa. So I'll be up there for the weekend watching the North Devils play the PNG Hunters and doing a little bit of preparation for Samoa.
I look forward to some reports back from you when you return to this desk. Blocker, you scored a test try in Papua New Guinea. What happened next?
I broke my ankle.
And did they operate on you there in Papua New Guinea?
Well,
they wanted to, didn't they?
Well, I hopped on the plane pretty quickly.
With your leg pointing right when it should have been straight.
I didn't want it to be put back the front. But anyway, that's the way it goes. I was almost finished my career and Bobby Fulton rang me and said, do you want to play? I said, play for Australia? Of course I do. Let's go.
Yeah. Went over there, scored a try and snapped the ankle.
Broke my ankle.
Anyway, we'll hear much more about Papua New Guinea in coming days, weeks and months. Boys, thank you. It is time for
Pleasure.
NRL 360. Braith and the team. Follow us on Fox League.